Team of the season is coming soon, and as we all know, everyone is going to be sweating in foot champs as well as division rivals. Now, already everyone is using the 95 depth and the high pressure in game, so how can you beat that? Well, on this video I'm going to give you some tips on how to beat the 95 depth and the high pressure in game. Not only that, also I'm going to give you some tips about defending, passing, dribbling, shooting. Hopefully after you watch this video you are going to improve and get ready for team of the season. With that being said, let's jump straight into the video. And if you are looking to build your dream team in FC25 but you are concerned of the high cost of in-game coins, don't worry anymore, check out lootbar.gg, a platform that I have used many times. Lootbar is the cheapest and the safest platform on the market, offering an 80% discount compared to all others by using my code Y5K. Not only that, also an additional 8% off. Buying 1 million coins in-game will cost you 10 times more than Lootbar. Many huge content creators are using Lootbar, and not only that, also it's highly rated by users. Fast delivery within 30 minutes. Don't forget to use my code Y5K for 80% off. When it comes to cheap coins, there's not a better platform other than Lootbar. And now let's jump straight into the video. The first thing that we are going to talk about is how to play under pressure, how to get the ball out of your own half, and how to score goals while your opponent is using the 95 depth and the high pressure. First thing first, let's talk about how to get the ball out of your own half. Now, if your opponent is using the high pressure, I'm going to give you some tips on how to get the ball out of your own half. First thing first, let's all agree, when you don't have any options, when your opponent is pressing you and you don't see any passing option, the best thing to do is cross it. Cross the ball to your midfielders. Use the cross as a pass to get yourself out of that high pressure. I have been playing since FIFA 14 and I have never ever used the cross as a pass as much as now because of the 95 depth and the high pressure. So whenever you see yourself losing the ball, your opponent has got the pressure, just to cross it to your midfielder. And if you have got Truth Hollit in your midfielder, that would be absolutely great because of course he has got the aerial play style plus. The second tip that I would give you to get the ball out of your own half is going to be the driven pass, and this is going to be the way to get out of the high pressure. Now, as we all know, the driven pass is used when you want to deliver the ball quickly. All you have to do, hold on the R1 or the RB on Xbox and then pass the ball, and this is the reason why the ping pass play style plus is really important in this game. If you have got a CDM with a ping pass play style plus, this is going to be absolutely great for you. You want to get yourself out of the pressure, you see your winger for example available, you want to pass the ball quickly, the driven pass can do the job for you. And the third thing, of course, you don't want to lose the ball, so take care of your first touch. When your opponent is using the high pressure against you, you are in your own half, take care of the first touch that you take. And what I mean about that is always take the first touch to the safe distance, no risk at all, and then after you take a good first touch to the safe distance away from the players that are putting pressure, after that you can react, you can go for a driven pass, you can go for a cross, but the most important thing is your first touch. And what you can do in game, go for a fake first touch. What I mean about that, let's take this clip as an example. As you can see, I take a first touch down and then quickly I change my direction again up. That's what I call a fake first touch. You can do it to shake off all the defenders that are around your player and to get yourself out of the high pressure. Now let's move on into the next topic, which is going to be about build up. How can you score goals against the 95 depth? Not only that, also in general, when you are building up an attack, this is a must. I'm talking about tricking your players to get in behind and tricking your players to come short. And ladies and gentlemen, trust me when I say this is the best tip anyone can give you. If you go through all the YouTube videos, this is literally the best tip anyone can give you. This is the difference between a Division Elite player and a Division 7 player. Now, how to do that? As we all know, press the L1 button aiming at that player. With that, he is going to try to get in behind. And if you press the R1 button or the RB button on Xbox, you're gonna see that player coming short. Now, I am assuming that all of you know that. Maybe you know it, but you don't use it that much. Well, let me give you examples on how important this is. As you can see from this clip, I'm building up an attack. The ball is now with Mola, so I trigger Ritz, my right attack mid, to get in behind. And when he is getting it behind, my opponent saw that and he start to cut the passing line, start to cover it, so I don't play to him. So I didn't play it to him because there's no point, it will get intercepted. So what I did is I saw my opponent is busy with Ritz and he is trying to cover him, so I saw Abilia. So I trigger Abilia to get in behind and it worked perfectly and I was able to score a goal. And this is why it's really important. It will give you more options, it will give you more motion on the attack, and not always you have to play it to the player who is trying to get in behind, at least the player who's trying to get in behind will push the defense line further back. Not only that, also it will give you more options on the attack. Let me give you another example. Again, I'm building up an attack, the ball with Reds. Now I don't have many passing options, so if you take a look at the controller point of view, a quick tap on the R1 button, and as you can see, the players are now coming short to receive a pass. After I got the ball with Mola, now I trigger a Billy with the L1 button to get in behind. Some quick taps on the R1 and the L1 button, and you are going to see yourself breaking the defense line. Let me give you another example. When I got the ball with Abili this time, I hold on the L1 button and then I pass the ball. With that, Abili, after she passed the ball, she is going to try to get in behind, and I know that she is going to try to get in behind. I put that in my mind, and because I know she will keep trying to get in behind, I pass the ball to Pele, and then from Pele I pass it to Abili, and she scored. And because I trigger her to get in behind, now I have a plan. If I didn't trigger her to get in behind, you will never ever see your player trying to get in behind like that. In previous FIFAs, yes, you might see your players trying to get in behind, but this here with the gameplay that we are playing, you will never ever see your players trying to get in behind like that. You have to trigger your players to get in behind. So triggering your players to get in behind using the L1 button is really important, as well as triggering your player to come short using the R1 button is really important as well. Now let's move on into the next topic and let's talk about defending. Defending this year is not that easy, to be honest, but I'm going to give you some quick tips on how to improve your defending and how to get ready for team of the season. First thing first, the most important thing, don't touch your defense line. Keep your defense line strong and keep every player next to each other, especially the center backs. You don't want your center backs out of position, especially when your opponent is building up an attack. How you can do that? You can defend using your CDMs or center mids. This is really important because one step forward with your center backs and it's gone. You're gonna see your opponent trying to get in behind and you're gonna see him breaking the defense line. You want your defense line to stay strong. Every defender is next to each other. And when it comes to defending, the shoulder challenge is absolutely fantastic and it can win you the ball a lot of times. How to do it? All you have to do, press your X button on PlayStation or the A button on Xbox when you are next to the player. When your defender and your opponent is next to each other, that time you have to go for a shoulder challenge, and of course you should be using the advanced defending. And as we all know, it would be way better if you are using a player who has got the browser playstyle plus. The second thing for defending, hard stand tackle can be way better for you than a normal stand tackle in many situations. How to perform a hard stand tackle? All you have to do, hold on the R1 button on PlayStation and then go for a stand tackle, or if you are on Xbox, hold on the RB button and then go for a stand tackle. Or you don't have to hold it, just when you want to go for a stand tackle, press the R1 button at the same time. With that, your player is gonna give it all. But if you go for a wrong stand tackle, you don't win the ball. That time your player is gonna take a time to recover, because like I said, he's gonna give it all. If you perform it wrong, your defender is gone. With a normal stand tackle, you can recover quicker than a hard stand tackle. But at the same time, the hard stand tackle, if you perform it at the right time and at the right direction, you can win the ball in many more situations than going for a normal stand tackle. And of course, for defending, jockey defending is a must to use, especially the running jockey. All you have to do, hold on the L2 and the R2 buttons on PlayStation or the LT and the RT buttons on Xbox. With that, your player is going to perform the running jockey. Now for the jockey, what will happen in game, your defender is gonna get ready for anything. If your opponent go for a shot with the jockey, he can block the shot. If your opponent is going for a pass with the jockey, he can intercept. And if you run into your opponent using the jockey defending, you're gonna see him winning the ball by himself and going for a stand tackle. The jockey defending is a must to use. Next up, let's talk about shooting. How can you be a clinical finisher? I'm talking about the time finishing. Now, last year I wouldn't recommend anyone to use time finishing. It doesn't make a huge difference, but this year there's actually a huge difference between using time finishing and not using time finishing. You can score way more goals if you green time your shots. Now, how to use the time finishing? All you have to do, you have to press the shooting button twice. The first one is when you want to shoot and the amount of power that you want to put on the shot, and the second one is going to be when your player is about to shoot, when his feet just touch the ball. That time you have to press it again and you're gonna get yourself the green time finishing. Now if you don't know how to green time your shots, what you can do, you can turn on the trainer. If you turn on the trainer, that time you're gonna see that bar above your player's head whenever you shoot. shoot, and to be honest that can help you massively to learn how to green time your shots. The most important thing about it, don't press the second shot before your player actually shoot. If you press it when your player is shooting, that time you will get the green time finishing, and if you use it after your player shoot, that time you will get the white, which does mean it's a normal shot, it won't affect anything. But if you press the second shot before your player actually shoot, that time you will get the red triangle, and you don't want to see that. And like I said, if you turn on the trainer like I have shown you, it can help you a lot to learn how to green time your shots. And for the next step, we're gonna keep talking about shooting. We are going to talk about finishing and the load driven playstyle plus. Now, as we all know, the load driven playstyle plus is literally broken at the moment. It's the best way to finish inside the box, and if you want it to be absolutely broken for you in game, that time I recommend you to go with a Trivela load driven shot with a player who has got the load driven shot playstyle plus. How to do it? That is really easy. Let me show you. Just to be clear, you don't have to hold anything. You don't have to hold the L2 button just like you are going for a normal Trivela. No, you don't have to hold anything to perform a load driven Trivela. How to do it in game? First thing first, your player should be inside the box. Second thing, of course, it should be a load driven shot, which does mean just a quick tap on the shooting button. You don't have to hold anything. And the third thing, to get a Trivela load driven shot, first thing first, you have to be using a player who has got the Trivela playstyle, just the normal white playstyle. Second thing, you have to get your player to the perfect position where he can go for a Trivela by himself. As you can see from this example, I performed a fake shot just to get my player to the perfect position where he can go for a Trivela by himself, and of course I finished to the far post. Because if I finish to the near post, he's not gonna perform a Trivela, but to the far post, in that position, he is of course going to perform a Trivela. And it won't work if you don't use a player who has got the Trivela playstyle. You must be using a player who has got the Trivela playstyle. And this is literally the most broken way to use the load driven shot. The Trivela load driven shot is just absolutely broken in game, and it can score you goals and goals. Just get your player to a position where he can go for a Trivela by himself, and of course using his strong foot, and with that you are going to see him finishing by a Trivela by himself. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, this is the video done. Just a quick tip to get you ready for team of the season. I hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to subscribe and like. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments below, and I will see you all in the next video. Peace.